Hello, everybody. It's time for Pop Speed Digital's Hot Take Tuesday. Every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., we give you our hot take on something. Hot might be pop culture, might be social media, digital marketing, might be just what we're thinking about that day. So, what we're going to talk about today is really a hot button with this team. Here with me, you have Kylie, Molly, and Sarah, and the four of us are the majority of the team at Pop Speed Digital Marketing LLC. We also have a guy on the team, hard to believe sometimes, but my husband is my business partner and he just plays behind the scenes. He's kind of introverted and he usually doesn't come to these, but he is backing us up with all the tech stuff. So, we are here today to talk about something that's so hot on our minds constantly, and that is the difference between social media and social media marketing. And I'll tell you a couple things that got me, hot and bothered yesterday. I was so upset. Was this really wonderful description? I saw somebody tag a social media job and it was a social media intern. I'm like, okay, well, it's an intern. That's okay. And I looked through the description and it had all these things that this person was expected to know and do. And it was an unpaid position. Unbelievable, guys. Social media marketing is not social media. There's two different things. So, Kylie, I'm going to let you start us off with the three things we're going to talk about now that I'm off my soapbox.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, like Lori said, it's a topic that's very near and dear to our heart, and we definitely have a lot of hot takes on. So you're gonna get those maybe slightly filtered, but mostly unfiltered today. So the three big things that we're gonna touch on, I guess maybe not limited to, because we all have a lot of thoughts on this, on really just breaking down the fact that these are not the same two things. There's a lot of nuances, a lot of differences. So we're gonna cover those. A common misconception that we see, whether it's among other people that we see on social media or whatever the case may be, social media marketing is not easy. A lot of people seem to think that it's easy. It is
Mhm.
not easy. And finally, we're not magicians. So
We are not
yeah,
magicians.
it's something that we see, I would say pretty regularly, with questions like, well, why are we not going viral? Or why did this not get 50% engagement? And it's
Ugh,
unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. If we could snap our fingers and make stuff like that happen all the time, we could. But
we
unfortunately,
would.
it does not really work like that.
Yeah.
So let's
Let's
get
dive
into it.
into social media and social media marketing are not the same thing.
Yes.
So,
So
who wants to jump in here?
I can say a few things first.
Go for it.
So something that we see pretty often is, whether it's a potential client or somebody that we see on social media, a lot of people seem to be under the impression that because they have a personal account, or because they have 1,000 Facebook friends, or because they have 500 followers on Instagram, that they are capable of running an effective social media marketing effort for their brand or for somebody else's brand, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
They are not the same thing. When it comes to social media marketing, there is significant intention that shows up behind a solid effort. There's a lot of planning and strategizing that goes on behind the scenes.
Yep.
And it's a really, I think, to kind of reference that internship job posting that Lori mentioned, it's also something that we see in that realm, right? So if you have an organization that's maybe led by somebody that doesn't know social media very well, oh, let's bring in an intern, pay him cheap, and an intern's going to be young, right? So they must know what they're doing on social media. It's just not how it works. Running a personal social media account and conducting social media marketing on behalf of a brand are very different.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'll jump in here a little bit because I had a social media position with one of the large ad agencies for 6 years. And there's a lot more behind a marketing effort than there is behind just a social media effort. And one of the biggest things is ROI. If you are handing your social media over to the intern or the youngest person on the team with 2 years of experience because it's cheap and you don't think it's going to get you any results, That is a self-fulfilling prophecy. You will
Yeah.
not get results giving your social media effort to the intern unless the intern is in their 40s and has a bunch of experience, and then maybe.
Yeah.
But you can't expect somebody just out of college to know the things that a seasoned marketer would know. And those concepts and ideas apply in social just like they do in broadcast, print,
Yep.
any other form of marketing or advertising. So, Molly, I know you had a few things to say about being an intern and having people have expectations about social. So, chime
Oh
in here.
yeah. Yeah, so I had a social media internship in college, and kind of unlike most companies who kind of just like throw social at the intern, I wasn't really allowed to do anything, which was pretty
As it
fair,
should be.
as it should
Right.
be. Like it was, so it's like shocking to me when I see all of these like job postings and
Oh,
all of the kind of discussions on social media about how like, oh, interns can just do everything, and it's like they should not be. Like I
Right.
did not have the experience necessary to be running huge social campaigns, and even when I started here at Popspeed, it was kind of a crash course in social media
yeah.
marketing because my background is not in marketing. Like
Yeah, Molly's a
so
writer. She's an extremely wonderful copywriter,
Yeah.
and she is supported by a team, and she has learned what she needs to learn after being with us for a
yeah.
couple of years to
Mhm.
get into the nitty-gritty. And the biggest difference again is results.
Yeah.
If
Yep.
you just want to throw social media up, that's one thing, but do you want
Right.
results? And I
Mm.
think that's one of the reasons, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's one of the reasons we hear so many people say, well, social media doesn't work. We tried it, didn't do anything.
Right.
Well, of course it didn't if you gave it to somebody who just threw some pretty pictures and some words up
Yeah.
with no strategy, no tactics, nothing
Yeah.
behind it. So,
Yeah.
Sarah, you look like you're ready to say something.
Oh gosh. Where do I begin? I think I'm going to come in from a perspective that I actually don't have any educational degree completed. I've been working since I was 16 and I had my child young. So, working has been my entire life thing.
And
So,
she's incredibly talented and knows
thank
so
you.
much
Thank
because
you.
she's been doing it.
Mhm.
But that's the thing though, I want to say just recently, but it has been an ongoing thing, right? And a lot of the
Yeah.
places I go, it's either, oh, you are very talented, but you don't have an education, or,
There's
like
no but to that. That drives me
Right.
but
nuts.
there's always the
Yeah,
but. And I
I
was
know.
recently in the situation where, I ended a contract with a certain company because the reason was I don't have an educational background in marketing. Therefore, I should not really know stuff about it. And I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing. At what point are we as a society going to talk about experience? What
Right.
counts? Is it the
Yeah.
educational? Of course, it's important. I understand. But
Right.
where does the experience chime in and make that like a perfect triangle of like, if you have this, it can actually go on top of this?
Yeah.
Right.
And it just sucks because like I'm 36 and I just recently had a conversation with my husband, like, what am I doing? Is it me, or is it like the entire,
No,
you know,
honey, it's them.
Yeah.
that's what I want to think.
Yeah.
But,
It's them.
again, it does lead to self-doubt and to see your positions, or sometimes, the job that you wanted to do, an intern comes in, or a person with much less experience comes in, and they don't know that they're underpaid,
Yeah.
Right.
and they're not appreciated, and they're used sometimes as a scapegoat. And I'm like, how
Yeah.
is this okay?
I
Yeah.
think that's such a good point. It kind of leads into our next slide too, where we talk about the fact that it's not easy. It's such a good point and something to consider. I mean, on a much deeper level is
Yeah.
it's, you'll see an entry level job posting that requires so many years experience. How do you have that if you just graduated?
Yeah.
So it's like, make up your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you value my experience because you want me to have that on top of my education? So which one's more important?
Yeah.
Which one? Because
Yep.
it's
It's like that
in a lot of
meme,
cases
right?
you can't
It's
have
that
both,
meme.
right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And talent to me is always paramount.
mhm,
If you are a writer or a designer, you've got some basic, cognitive ability.
Right.
You can express yourself in the written word or via graphic design or both. And there are a lot of people that are out there that are able to do both. Um, but usually people tend toward graphics, or they tend toward copywriting or concepting or strategizing.
Yeah.
And it really helps to have a solid marketing background leading the charge.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're always thinking, the way we do social media, we're always thinking what will get results, what will get
Yeah.
the click throughs, what will get, we had a client that needs Sandcastle's grief support for children, and they provide grief support services to children who have experienced a death in their family, and they need volunteers. Well, we put that in our, in our strategy, and we are promoting for volunteers. We're using video testimonials of the volunteers and all kinds of different types of content. And we are getting regular intake forms on their website. I want to volunteer. I want to volunteer. I want to volunteer. And
Yeah.
they're building that up for the camp that happens in August.
Yep.
And that is how it works, a
Yep.
steady effort toward
Right.
results,
Right.
I
and the
think,
background to know what's going to fly and what's not.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, a team is the best way to get your social media done. I really do think so.
Yep.
I think you
Agree.
just made a really good point, Lori, too, about how some people tend towards graphics and some people tend towards copywriting. Not to backtrack a little bit, but there was something I wanted to touch on here.
Mhm.
When you bring up the fact that a lot of people think social media is very easy, this to me is one of the most glaring misconceptions about what we do every day.
Yeah.
So social media itself, when you're running a personal account, it's fun, it's low maintenance, it's lighthearted, it's to keep up with people, right? And not to say that social media marketing can't be fun. It certainly can be. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
On the flip side to that, though, it's not the same. It really isn't low maintenance or low stakes, especially when you consider some of our clients like Sandcastles, who do such amazing work and really make a tremendous impact on our community. It's important to us to make sure that our strategy not only supports them getting donations, getting volunteers, but supports the people and the families and the children that they are trying to support, right? So it's, in a lot of cases, it's very mission oriented. So for us, when we see job postings similar to that internship one, whether it's, an unpaid internship or what we were just saying, an entry level position that pays pennies, but, requires this amount of experience, which is, I think insane, because obviously if it's an entry level job, you're not going to have 5 years experience. That's crazy.
Well, and the
But
thing too is they require full knowledge of Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn or whatever.
yeah, that's
But-
exactly what I was just going to say. It's like you want a graphic designer, a copywriter, somebody that can do market research, somebody that's a strategist, somebody that, encompasses everything.
Yep.
One
And you
person.
get, yeah, exactly, in one person, when in reality, if something is happening in an effective way that's most likely to maximize ROI, those are each a full-time job.
Yeah. And
A
to
market
know,
strategist, market research, a graphic designer, a copywriter, those are individual jobs. That's not
Yeah.
a social media
And-
manager's job to do all
and
of
to
that.
add on, they think that they want to see the results in a day. Like, I want you to do
Exactly.
all of this. I want you to do the post in like 24 hours.
Yep.
Wait, why
Yep.
is it not having 5,000 views?
Absolutely.
Like, are you
Because
kidding?
we're not magicians.
Yep, exactly. Here we are.
What I
So
love
it's
is when
great.
people, like, I did some consulting or some contract work for a small agency, and the boss came up with an idea that he thought was great. I didn't think it was great. He thought it was great. I want this to go viral like the ice bucket challenge.
Hmm.
And I was like,
Wouldn't
oh,
that be
honey,
nice?
we need to make this go viral like the ice bucket challenge. Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But you look at that person who really feels like, I have been in the advertising business for 40 years and this should happen and this is a great idea, go. And you're standing there going, you gave me an idea that ain't going to do anything. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot. People don't
Right.
really understand social. So they
Right.
want to treat it like advertising, and it's not like advertising either.
No.
Yeah.
And if you think it is, and you're going to hire an intern who also doesn't know that it's not like advertising,
Right.
good luck.
Yeah.
And this may sound a little harsh. I don't want us to sound harsh, but on the other hand, we see what we hear people say is that social media doesn't work. And that is heartbreaking
Yeah.
because our experience is that social media does work.
It
It
does.
works so well,
Mhm.
but only if you take a collaborative approach with a group or a team that knows their stuff,
Yeah.
that knows the back end, because your intern's not going to know how the business end of Instagram works.
Right.
They're not going to be able to
Yeah.
work their way around Meta and figure out how to solve problems in the dumpster fire that
Right.
is the Meta business manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's in a way, social media is a journey, right? If you want to go to Paris,
Yes.
you're going to have to know, okay, who's going to get the tickets? Are you going to take the
Yeah.
train? Are you going to take the
Yeah.
car? Are you going to take the bus? Who's going to drive
Yeah.
it? You know, you have
Yep.
to know all these things. But if you do, yes, you can go to Paris. But
Right.
you can't just sit
Yes.
there and say, hey, I want to go to
Yeah.
Paris. Why am I not there yet?
Right.
It's
That's
like, of course
great.
you are.
Such a good analogy.
That's a social post
That is a social.
with the Eiffel Tower. Why are we
Yeah.
not in Paris? Because
Yeah,
it takes a while to get there.
there we go.
Yep.
I love
I
that.
love that.
That's great. So, Sarah, as we
Ooh.
close out, can you tell us a little bit about your Darth Vader, your Darth Sarah name?
Oh my gosh, yes. So
You only
I,
got a minute.
oh gosh, okay. So I go as Darth Sarah on social media. It started when my daughter was in kindergarten and she was bullied because she loved nerdy stuff, but somebody said you can't love a superhero if you're a girl. So I basically said, hey, I cosplay and I love Star Wars. And I went to her school and started volunteering with the kids wearing Darth Vader and telling them that, hey, I'm well paid, I'm an adult, I'm a girl, and I can still be Darth Vader. So look at the success that allow that to happen to any girls or any kid that actually wants to be whoever they want. So it's
Yes.
been like that for, oh gosh, she's turning 16 this year. So I would say about 11 years I've been a Darth Vader.
Oh my God.
And I travel around the world, kind of telling what you can do, be yourself, that sort of a thing on social
Yeah.
media.
I
So
love it.
I
I
love that.
think, why is it that I bet that Sarah's daughter's a badass?
I know, right?
she definitely is. She just started learning how to drive a stick shift last week.
Awesome.
Oh my God.
That's
Oh,
great.
She's gonna follow my steps.
Love
Love that.
love
All
it.
right, ladies, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We are here every Tuesday at 10 a.m. And we'd love to see you next week, too. If you need any assistance with your social media marketing, popspeeddigital.com is our website. You can learn more about us there. We are also all open networkers. So find us on LinkedIn, connect to us there, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.